Hello, rock stars, and welcome to the Perfect Fit Virtual Quilt Show. My name is Holly Ann Knight of String and Story, and it is my job to guide you to quilt with confidence. I am so excited to celebrate with y'all tonight. You can see I have my Perfect Fit quilt done here behind me. This might be the first time ever that we have done this quilt show, and my quilt is quilted and bound. Incredible. Top notch. Do you know how rarely that happens? So exciting. Hello, Susan Ruff. You have a quilt in this show tonight. How exciting. How exciting. Hello, everyone on Instagram, by the way. Let me just okay, we're going to go into all the things. Here's what's going to happen tonight. I am going to show you some gorgeous quilts. Some of y'all submitted directly to our show. I have those in a slide deck. Some of y'all shared your gorgeous photos, but you shared them on Facebook and not in via our little form to fill out. So I'm going to screen share on Facebook because I want your quilts to get shown as well. Then I'm going to give you a very special invite for an event that we have going on tomorrow. I'm going to try not to cough. Hang on, I'm going to cough. I'm going to mute myself. I don't think I brought home any crud from QuiltCon this year, which is a really good thing, but I did bring home a very hoarse throat and thus this kind of dry cough. So bear with me if I periodically have to pause and suffer. Hello, PETA in Australia. That's absolutely incredible. So here's the deal. If you are here with me live, please say hi in the chat. This should pull all of the comments in. I will be periodically jumping over to Instagram because I have to see those separately over there. But I'm going to tell you something. If you are on Instagram with me, as soon as I throw this slide deck up, I suspect that you're going to find the viewing experience to be less than ideal, right? Because our screens are designed this away and slide decks are designed this away. So if that is frustrating to you, you can head over to YouTube, String and Story on YouTube. I am streaming there as well. So if you want to be able to see the slideshow full screen, that would be my recommendation for my Instagram folks, okay? Just know it will also be, archived over there. So if you want to stick where you are right now, then you'll be able to jump over and watch it again later. All right. Hello, Raina. You have a quilt in this show tonight. Hello, Brian. It is good to see you. All right. Are y'all ready to see some pretty quilts? Amy in Ecuador. Okay. Amy and I got to see each other at QuiltCon this week. Okay. Also, Amy, you have to see the sweater I just bought because I feel like you'll enjoy how silly and kitsch it is. And I need someone to appreciate it. Okay. I feel like you're just like my hype friend. I'm like, I need you to hype this for me because I'm stoked about it. Exactly. We danced all over QuiltCon. We tried to get an entire line of people dancing who were in line to get into the Ruby Star booth. I feel like they could have risen to the occasion more. They had not had as much coffee as I had had. I will say that. Amy, do you drink coffee? I don't actually know if you drink coffee. But they had not had a quad shot that morning, let me tell you what, and I had. So just imagine me, like this is tired me after driving home me. Just imagine me okay, excellent, Amy. See, there are so many reasons why we get along. Just imagine me on a quad shot of espresso. Exactly. All right. Michelle says, I can't wait to see all the quilts. I never got mine going. It's on my to make list now. The great news is, Amy, is these blocks are like potato chips. Like once you get them going, they just rock and roll. Okay. All right. I have loitered. I have given people time to join us. Everyone is ready to see the quilts. So without further ado, let's head into the Perfect Fit virtual quilt show. Dun da da da. So for the last few weeks, dozens of rock stars have been hard at work on their Perfect Fit quilt. We've strengthened our community. We've grown our quilting skills. We have questioned my fabric choices and found that they rose to the occasion, right? I had so many fun conversations about this quilt last week of people at the show who were like, I was really unsure. I was really unsure about this fabric, Holly Ann, but here we are. Today we get to celebrate. We get to celebrate all the fun that we've been having, and you get to see each other's quilts. I know some of you have seen them on social media, but I just feel like it's always really fun to like be all together and be like, let's hype, okay? Hello, how are you? I must have bought out the good coffee place every day. I had someone at the show tell me that I should have a coffee sponsor because we would sell so much coffee. Because like I'm just like this, and then you add the coffee, and it's just like pouring fire on the joy units, right? But like, I feel like if I had a coffee sponsor, Bev, I feel like that could really do what's up. Pina says reminds me of a letter sweater from the 50s. I think that's probably the vibe. Yeah, full disclosure, I got this in the kids section at Old Navy. There are perks to having tiny shoulders. I'm just saying. Okay, that's neither here nor there. Let's look at the work of you amazing rock stars. First up, Barbara Whiteside. Barbara says the print, so the dark fabric in here is a print. Says it's the Teddy and the Bears. Black on the front is guitar frets. It's quilted edge to edge with electric guitar and musical notes. Backing is organically pieced. Oh, I want to see the back now, Barbara. I need you to come in and play show and yell with us in real life, please. I made it for a hard rocking guitar playing nephew. Taste police may come after me, but he will appreciate the irony of the cute bears against his hard rocking musical skills. I love that, Barbara. Um, Barbara has a history. Some of you will remember from the Polaris Quilt Show. Barbara has a history of some delightful irony and silly little, gems hidden in her quilt. Her Polaris quilt was quilted in gold thread with a Bigfoot motif. So Barbara's just bringing the fun, and I love it. Awesome job, Rockstar. Next up is Ellen Carley. Ellen, when I tell you this quilt lives rent free in my head, okay? Ellen says, I've made this pattern before, but this time I wanted to use up several shirts from my collection of recycled shirts. When I was choosing them, I wanted to make the quilt in stripes, trying to keep most all the same shirts on the same horizontal line of the pattern. The idea was very challenging, but once I discovered the rhythm of color, it was really fun. My quilt is still a flimsy, but I believe I'm going to use your suggestion of square spirals to quilt it. Yes, I'm a graduate of FMQ as well. I'll be making the pattern again. Thanks, Holly Ann, for hosting the quilt along. I'm glad I had the opportunity to challenge myself and stretch the boundaries of colors, at least for me. Ellen, this quilt lives rent free in my head. I wrote this pattern and I can't figure out how you managed to get this right. Like the thought process of this to like dissect the block and think about how it was going to touch the block under it so these colors ended where you wanted them to, bloody brilliant. Like, I love it so much. It makes me want to make a scrappy version of this quilt, which I have not done. I have not made a scrappy version of this. And the other time that a scrappy version of this quilt was made, it was done with made fabric. So, like, piecing fabric to make the strips and then cutting the strips out of the like pieced fabric. I love this. This is very, very cool, Ellen. And it's got me like wanting to think about color placement in this quilt in a whole new way. Phenomenal. Bev says that Monty yowled for 20 minutes when she got home. I think that's so funny. Oh, and then he had to sleep next to you. For those of you who don't know, Bev has a cat named Monty who used to be my cat named Monty. Monty does not like my children. So Monty went to go live with a rock star. And I love what a love bug he is. He's like he's such a mess, but he's such a love bug. So good. Raina, hello, hello. Raina says we are big Clemson fans. Listen, is there any other way to be a Clemson fan? Uh, alumni and Hubs played football there, so I was choosing colors for this quote was no brainer. The Hubs claimed this one for himself before I even had the second block sewn together. I love that. If you're able to look closely, it's even quilted with tiger paws. I can see that, and I think that's awesome. I was wondering if that's what they were. The backing is purple, and I used orange thread for the quilting, so the pattern pops. After almost 20 years of quilting, I can say without a doubt this one brought me the most joy. I just smile every time I look at it. Raina, big hug. I love that so much. Y'all know I was preaching this at QuiltCon. I've been preaching it here. You know I'm going to keep talking about it. We are here for the joy units. Right. And like one of the reigning conversations, and y'all are going to hear me talk about QuiltCon, until next QuiltCon. That's how this goes. But one of the like reigning conversations that we had at QuiltCon was that tension of there's so much going on in the world, but we want to be at QuiltCon and have a great time. And what I kept telling people was there's enough serious stuff in the world. This has to be for joy. Right. And joy is an act of rebellion, of resistance, of identity, of holding our own space in the world. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to live loud and joyfully. So, Raina, I love this. And I'm so glad that this quote brought you so much joy. That is so exciting. Hello, everyone on Instagram. I love how many of you there are. Huzzah, huzzah. As I mentioned earlier, if you're on Instagram and you're struggling to see these quilts, you can hop over to YouTube, String and Story on YouTube, and you will be able to see us there as well. Or you can chill out on Instagram and catch the replay later, whichever floats your boat. Next up, Susan Ruff. Susan says, I love how fast it went together. It was fun seeing the pattern emerge as I put the top together. Here's what I love about yours, Susan. First of all, those colors are chef's kiss. But admittedly, I'm biased, right? So what's really fun about what we do with these quilt-alongs, is we make a lot of kits, and I have the fun of digitally mocking up those quilts, so I get to kind of make them on my computer and see how they're going to look, but it's not the same as seeing them in fabric. So it's really fun when one of y'all, like Susan, gets one of our kits, one of the ones that I'm not having the opportunity to sew, and sews it up because I love seeing how the fabric slices and dices and comes back together. So, so good. Yes. Oh, Bev says this year's already holding more joy for me than last year. Yes. I love that those clouds have parted for you, Bev. Yay. Susan says, I love your kits. They get me out of my comfort zone. I make some wonky ones. I still have my Foxtrot kit over there that no one has taken me up on yet. But let me tell you, I know it's going to look good when someone does. Kind of like this one, right? This was a bold set of choices, but I love it. Though I did kind of chuckle. Am I going to say this out loud? Okay, I am. Here's how I'm going to say this. So we were across from the Ruby Star booth at QuiltCon, and I almost went over to Kimberly Kite, who designed these incredible fabrics, and was like, "What do you think?" And then I was like, "You know what? I'm not going to put her on the spot because this is not necessarily everybody's cup of tea." And just because I love my quilts to be incredibly loud doesn't mean that everybody does. So, Susan, I'm so glad you enjoyed the kit. I think it turned out beautifully. That navy print with the hearts is one of my favorites that we got in last year. And I love seeing it sparkle. It looks so good. And like, what perfect timing for like February Valentine's Day. Chef's kiss. Great job. Suzette says, "This is my brother-in-law's high school colors," and I love that. Suzette, thank you so much for sharing. I love how much it pops. It looks incredible. Brilliant. Huzzah. Okay, we're not popping the champagne yet because we're gonna do one more thing first. I am going to jump over and I'm gonna share my screen. And I'm yes, I Okay, I would like to give you access. We're gonna do this. Some of these you've already seen, some of them you haven't. So we're just gonna scroll down through. I searched perfect fit in the Quilting Rockstars Facebook group and I selected most recent. So we are gonna peek at those together because I want you to be able to see in some different ways. Also, I got to see Quinn at QuiltCon and it was great. Um, they're incredible. So here is the first half of Bev's perfect fit. I love how this turned out. I love all the purples. It's incredible. Here is Denise's in these beautiful blues. And look, you're getting it all quilted up too, Denise. Phenomenal. I love the sea turtles. It's so beachy and delightful. That makes me really happy. Dun, da, da, da. And Ellen only submitted one. I would like to take a moment for her other one because this looks really cool. Ellen, if you are still here with me live, will you tell us about how the process was different for each of these? Because you took kind of two different approaches, and I would love to know kind of your thoughts on how you broke those down because this looks really cool. I really like how it turned out. Here's Raina's again before it was quilted. Phenomenal. Here's Ellen's block in progress. More fabric. I love it. Okay. And then I think we are down to Polaris. Here's fabric choices. But I just wanted to say, oh, this one's going to be amazing, Lynn. I can't wait to see this. That's going to look awesome. Yay, Raina. It looks so good. All right. I wanted to indulge those other few shares because I wanted y'all to see those projects. I think they just are incredible. You all did a brilliant job. It looks absolutely incredible. So, on that note, now we can pop the champagne. Congratulations, rock stars. You did a beautiful job on your perfect fit quilts. If you have had fun with me, and some of you have already quilted these, some of you haven't, if you would love a little extra inspiration quilting this quilt, or if you're just in general thinking about how you want to be able to quilt your own quilts, I would love to invite you to join me tomorrow or next week for band camp. Some of y'all have attended this band camp before, but if it is new to you, please listen up. This is going to be so exciting. I do need to jump over. I just realized I need to grab the correct link. So as I am chit chatting, and I'm being very slow in my chit chatting, where is my link? We're going to trust that Clara put it on the slides. And if not, we're going to find it together. I would love, here it is. It's right here on the slide. And I will type it in just a moment. I would love to invite you to the Tension Without Tension band camp. Basically, This is the starting point. If you're saying, I would love for this year to be the year that I finish my quilts, but I'm really not sure where to get started. I'm curious about free motion quilting. I'm curious about ruler quilting. Maybe you're interested in custom quilting your projects. Y'all just watched me quilt Polaris and all that was involved in that. This free band camp that's happening tomorrow and next, I think it's Tuesday, but we're going to double check together. Dun, 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 dun. If I had my link handy, this would be easier, but I did not grab my link in time. Next Wednesday. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern or next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. I would love for you to join me, and I'm going to walk you through all the stuff you need to know about getting your space set up, your machine set up, the supplies you need for free motion and ruler quilting, and what you need to know about adjusting your tension for beautiful stitches. So basically all the things that tend to be the barriers to entry, the friction points that cause us to get stuck or feel frustrated, and then keep us from continuing to quilt our own stuff or being on the journey to learn how to do that. So let me type this link in to my own website because I did not tension band camp dash registration. There we are. And I'm going to drop a hot link for you in the chat. Instagram, this will be up in my stories in just a few minutes. Okay. So hop over there to check it out. So if this is of interest to you, I would love for you to join me. It's also a really great opportunity if you've dabbled around with quilting your own quilts before and hit a roadblock and you just want the opportunity to ask questions. So I'm going to be answering a lot of questions during this time live. And I would love for you to be there. Now, let's see. I see that Ellen talked about her process. So let me see. Ellen said, I had to think about which lines of color we're going to move across the quilt. I recreated your block on graph paper and relabeled it with my colors to help keep me straight. My mind was blown. Ellen, that's so cool. That's so cool. I love it. Great job, Rockstar. So, to all of you, cheers to your beautiful quilts. Huzzah for another fabulous quilt along. If you're already wondering about the next quilt along, yes, there will be another one. It is Star Island. I will tell you more about it in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Okay? Rockstars, thank you so much for being here this evening. It is always a treat to celebrate you, to engage with you, to goof off with you. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for sewing along with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.